You know, if I asked you 10 years ago to name the most important tech company, you'd probably say Apple, Google, or maybe Microsoft. But today, there's a new king in town, and its name is Nvidia. How did a company famous for making graphics cards for gamers become the single most crucial player in the artificial intelligence revolution? The story is absolutely wild, and it's a masterclass in vision, risk-taking, and a little bit of luck. Let's rewind to the 90s. Nvidia, led by its leather jacket-wearing CEO Jensen Huang, was locked in a fierce battle for the hearts and wallets of PC gamers. Their goal was simple: create the most powerful graphics processing units, or GPUs, to render realistic, beautiful 3D worlds. For years, this was their entire world. They made chips that were incredibly good at one specific thing: parallel processing. Think of it like this: a regular CPU is like a master chef, carefully preparing one complex dish at a time. A GPU, on the other hand, is like an army of line cooks, all chopping vegetables at the same time. It can't make a fancy souffle, but it can chop a mountain of onions in seconds. This parallel processing power was perfect for rendering millions of pixels on your screen simultaneously. Gaming was a huge market, and Nvidia was winning. But Jensen Huang and his team saw something no one else did. Around 2006, they made a pivotal move that would change everything. They released something called CUDA. CUDA was a platform that allowed developers to use the massive parallel processing power of Nvidia SGPUs for things other than gaming. At the time, this was a niche idea. Most people thought, why would I need a graphics card for scientific research or data analysis? It was a huge gamble. Nvidia spent millions developing a tool for a market that barely existed. For years, CUDA was a quiet project, used mainly by a small community of researchers and academics who realized that the army of line cooks in AGPU was perfect for running complex simulations and crunching huge datasets. Then, the AI boom happened, specifically the deep learning boom. Researchers discovered that training artificial neural networks, the brains behind modern AI, required an insane amount of computation. These neural networks, much like the human brain, are made of countless simple nodes working in parallel. And what piece of hardware is designed for massive parallel computation? You guessed it, Nvidia's GPUs. The very architecture they had perfected for rendering explosions and fantasy landscapes in video games turned out to be the perfect engine for training AI. The army of line cooks wasn't just chopping vegetables anymore. They were building the foundations of artificial intelligence. Suddenly, Nvidia's gamble on CUDA paid off in a way no one could have imagined. While other chip makers like Intel were still focused on general-purpose CPUs, Nvidia had spent a decade building an entire ecosystem: hardware, software, and a community of developers perfectly tailored for the AI gold rush. When AI labs and tech giants like Google, Meta, and OpenAI needed to build their large language models like GPT, they didn't have to invent new hardware. They just bought truckloads of Nvidia GPUs. The A100 and later the H100 chips became the undisputed picks and shovels of the AI revolution. It wasn't just about the hardware. CUDA gave them a massive, almost insurmountable, software advantage. It was like they had built the only highway system in a country where everyone suddenly needed to drive. The results have been staggering. Nvidia's market capitalization has exploded, soaring past $1 trillion and then $2 trillion, making it one of the most valuable companies on the planet. They went from being a successful gaming company to the foundational infrastructure provider for the most transformative technology of our time. Their chips are now in everything, from the data centers that power ChatGPT to the systems that enable self-driving cars and medical breakthroughs. It's a classic story of being in the right place at the right time, but it's more than that. It has a story about having the vision to build a bridge to a future that only you can see, and then waiting patiently for the rest of the world to cross it. From pixels to intelligence, Nvidia's journey shows that sometimes the biggest baits aren't on what's popular now, but on what will be possible tomorrow. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this deep dive, make sure to like and subscribe for a new Empire Autopsy every week.